Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some Mustang hockey here. We're at the Goheen tournament up here in White Bear Lake. Today's game is in Van Nuys Heights. Here, Rochester Bantam AA VFW team is taking on Rogers here in an opening round match at Goheen. We'll take the ice here later this evening to take on Duluth East, followed by an evening game tomorrow against Minnetonka. So the idea here would be to try to rack up a couple wins before we take on the Goliath tomorrow morning in Minnetonka, or tomorrow night, Minnetonka. See how the boys do. About a minute left here in warm-ups. Only one camera here today is live here on YouTube. As always, catch us on social media, X, Instagram, and YouTube, all live game day. Horn has blown. Refs are ready to go. Again, I'd like to take a moment to just thank our sponsors. The ruck guy, he walked all the way up from Rochester. Sorensen painting, Minnesota Ice, Jim. Sorensen painting, Minnesota Ice, Jimmy's, Paramarks, ETS Jacobson's, and Rochester VFW 1215. Go out to the VFW, grab a bite to eat. Starting lineups: Caleb Wiedrich, Kohler Peterson, Joe Getchell, Warren Hangy, and Costner on the point. 15 minutes on the clock, here we go. Elliot Sickick between the pipes again. Mustangs win that draw, they dump that down on the Rogers end. Rogers now coming to the near side up the boards and off. And we'll have an icing. Kohler Peterson coming to the near side. Cawthorn pinching Caleb Wiedrich along the boards. He loses it. Comes out to the neutral zone as Rogers changes. Caleb Wiedrich coming to the neutral zone now down the far side, trying to dance in. Shot, save. First shot by Rochester. Now in the far corner. Near side corner. Do a cross-ice pass. Masters probably could have hit Wiesner. Masters in the far corner. Puck does squirt out. Max Wiesner back for it. He backhands it up the middle. Peterson now grabs it. He goes up the boards to the near side. Young can't get that deep. Rogers now coming in. Drop pass. That just misses. Spinorama. Stuck along the near side boards. Max Wiesner now on the far side. He goes up the boards. Rogers pinches, steps in, walk, shot, save Elliott. Puck loose here along the blue line. Good check by Peterson. Wiesner, he chips that to the far side. Bradley's there. Bradley up the wall, now to the near side. Got Young on a streak. Rogers here up the near side. Now coming down on Hangy. Shot, save. Loose puck. Picked up by Anderson. He comes down on the near side. And we have a whistle for an offsides. Face-off won by your Mustangs. Rogers throws that in offsides. So we'll have another face-off outside the zone. Rogers dumps that in. Elliott stops that behind the net. He brings that around to the far side. Rogers holds it in. Hangy picks it up in the far corner. He comes up the far boards, chips it out to Schletty. Now Rogers regrouping in their zone. Evan Anderson forcing a turnover, and that puck goes back into the Rochester zone. Hangy on the near side. He goes up the near side wall. Anderson gets checked from behind. There, we got a call. There we go. So Anderson spinning. Rogers taking a check from behind. And we'll have our first power play. Kohler, Peterson, Joe Getchell, Caleb Wiedrich, Sag, and Wiesner. Wiesner with a shot that's tipped high up into the net. Caleb Wiedrich tipping that. Are they giving that to Max? Looks like Max Wiesner's taking that goal. Your Mustangs up 1-0. The old fist bump. Max Wiesner at 11:53, getting your Mustangs on the board 1-0 with a tip and a slot on the power play. Turnover, Caleb Wiedrich coming down, shot, goal! Turnover in the slot, Caleb Wiedrich putting it home, giving your Mustangs a 2-0 lead. Ill-advised pass across the slot. Caleb Wiedrich stepping up, putting that home. Huge 2-0 lead here early in the first period. Sag stepping up. He gets that deep. Now on the near side corner. Bradley. Bradley now behind the net. He spins. He goes up the wall to Wiesner. Wiesner chips it to the middle. Bradley's there. He goes near side. Slap shot. Loose puck. Mustangs can't stick that second rebound in. Great opportunity, though. Wiesner stepping up. He gets bodied. Now on the near side wall. Young. Around the far side. Bradley's there. Rogers coming out to the near side now. That's off to Wiesner. He goes off the glass and out. Rogers chips it up. Masters grabs it and throws it in. Rogers it up. Masters grabs it and throws it in. Rogers now reverses behind their net. Up the near side wall. Chips it in. Schletty on the forecheck with Anderson. Rogers chips it up. Hangy's able to keep it in. He dances down the near side wall. Centers it. Loose puck. Slapper Rooney by Cawthorn. Loses it, comes near side to Hangy. Hangy walking in. Shot. Glove save. Looks like we'll have some coincidental penalties here, maybe. Oh, we're going to have a power play. Rogers going to the box for a cross check. So your Mustangs go back on the power play. Kohler Peterson stepping in for this draw. We win that back to Sag. Sag goes across the blue line, ill-advised. Now Rogers on a breakaway. Coming down, shot. 5-hole. Sag not being patient enough. He's got that puck on the wall. Doesn't need to pass it across. So a turnover, creating a goal for Rogers. So a little tick for tack. Face off here at center ice. Still on the power play. They put a shot on, almost put another one in off a deflection. Rogers walking the middle, shot. That comes on the near side corner. Hangy, he reverses back to Peterson. Now up through the middle. Hangy's got it. He comes into the zone. Now down the far side wall, he spins and stops. Moves that up to the point. Peterson back down to Hangy. Hangy walks in. Down. Young, Hangy. Back to Young. Young walks in. Shot deflected. Rogers chips that up the near side wall. They come down. Hangy's on them. Seconds left in the power play. He goes up the near side boards. Young is there. Young goes cross ice. Not sure who he's going to. Out of the near side. Another turnover in the neutral zone. Wiesner back for it in the near side corner. He picks it up coming out of the zone now to the far side. He gets bodied. Puck in the near side corner. Getchell is there. He goes up the boards. Back to Sag. Sag, that's deflected. Weidrich in the far corner. He gets bodied. Rogers throws it all the way down. No icing. Penalty's over. Joe Getchell. Oh, almost had Weidrich in the slot again on a break. Rogers now reversing that to the far side. They go up the far side wall. Out of the middle. Rogers coming down to 3-on-2. Sag is able to get enough of that to keep that puck out loose in the slot. Shot and goal.
The guy wide open.
Rogers getting our defense turned around. Getting confused. So a 2-2 score now, 7:47 left here in the first. Settle back down here and get a couple pucks on net. Shots are 5-4 in favor of the Mustangs. Rogers now on the far side. Stepping up, Schletty, he's disrupts that puck, keeps that in the Rogers zone now and on the near side. Up the near side wall. Hangy keeps it in. He fires a shot to the far corner. Now the near side, Hangy, he dumps it in. Evan Anderson taking his time to get to that corner. Rogers working it out now. Rogers gets across the red, dumps it in. Masters. Hangy. D-to-D pass back to Peterson. Peterson on the far corner. He gets bodied and loses the puck. Rogers turns it over in the high slot. Bradley with it now. He goes back to Peterson. Now behind the net, Haney trying to chip it around Rogers to himself. Rogers now coming through the middle. Taken away by Masters, and Rochester's able to get it all the way out. Rogers regroups in their zone. Rogers chipping it through the middle. Broken up by Masters. He goes up the wall and into the Rogers zone where the Mustangs get a line change. Rogers coming through the middle again on a break. Rogers using their speed to get back behind Mustang defense. Rogers, nice little deke move, beating Elliott. Now they're up 3-2. So scoring fest here early in the first. Caleb Weidrich coming down. He fires a shot. Rogers goaltender steers that to the corner. 2 shots, rebound. Rogers goaltender coming up big now. Rogers coming back through the middle. Getting around our defense again. Oh my God. Oh boy.
You're ahead of the game, White!
Elliott having a rough start here. Rogers using a burst of speed. Getting around the defense again. Another deke move, went 5-hole on Elliott. Rogers now up through the middle. And I realize we're having some Wi-Fi connectivity issues, so we'll do the best we can to continue to broadcast here. Rogers to the near side wall. McGill back for it. He loses it. Hangy picking that puck up. McGill chips that out. Rogers regrouping now. Hangy back to retrieve it behind the net. Rogers now circling. They go up to the point. Nice spin and dump it down behind the net now. Cawthorn is there, up the wall. Rogers up to the point. They dump that back down deep. Now behind the net. This is where they seem to do a lot of good crisscrossing and confusing our defense. Rochester dumps that down. They dump that down into the Mustang zone. Wiesner back behind the net. Turnover by Bradley. Wiesner trying to chip that up the boards. Now on the far side, Masters is there. He tries to get up to Bradley, does. Bradley getting stick checked. Turnover in the neutral zone. Wiesner chipping that up for Bradley. Rogers picks that up. Now up the near side. Hunter Peterson back behind the net for it. Goes up the wall. Rogers holds it in. They dump it back down in the corner. Loose puck. Joe Getchell racing for it now. He tries to cut to the middle, loses it, and Rogers picks it up behind the net. They throw it all the way down. That should be an icing. 3:15 left here in the first. near side corner. That puck goes all the way down. That should be another icing. Peterson in for this draw. Loose puck back to Hangy. Cross. And that left the zone, so we'll have an offsides. Face off outside the zone. Sag stepping up, he keeps it in, fires a shot. Goaltender making a glove save. Face off in the near side corner. Kohler Peterson in for this draw. Kohler Peterson up to the near side wall. Caleb goes cross ice. Sad shot. Blocker save, rebound. Can't get to it. Rogers is able to chip that out. Warren Hangy gets to it. Now we'll have a penalty on Rogers. High sticking is the call. So face-off will be down in the Rogers end. Mustangs will go back on a power play, down 4-2. 2.5 minutes left here in the first. Rogers wins that draw. They go up the middle. That goes down. No icing. Peterson back for it. He gets stick check, loses it. Rogers trying to get that to the middle. Rogers up the near side wall of the point. Bradley trying to chip that out. Rogers picks it up, shot and save, Elliott. That on the near side wall. Bradley comes out with it, he chips it to Masters, now coming down 3-on-2. Rogers just chips that out of the zone, now we have to regroup. Sag back for it. Rogers changes their penalty kill unit. Sag coming down now. Rogers up the boards now, coming down. Shot, save, Elliott. That brings her around to the far side. Bradley up the near side to Peterson. Peterson coming down. He's got Caleb Widrick with him. He tried to stuff one in. 1:32 left. 52 seconds left in the power play. Rogers wins that. They go around the far side. Wiesner had withdrawn from the zone. Now at the blue line we have an offsides and another whistle. Rogers puts that into the Mustang end. Wiesner back for it. Into the Mustang end. Wiesner back for it. Now to Sag. Sag up the near side. Getchell not spinning. We fired all the way down. 26 seconds left in the power play. 105 left in the period. Gets that back to Peterson behind the net. Peterson falls on a banana peel. Mustangs have to regroup here. Young through the neutral zone, he loses it. Penalty's over, so we're back to 5-on-5. Hangy tosses that into the zone with 30 seconds left in the period. Rogers at the near side wall. They quickly move it out. Now coming down one-on-one. Cawthorn back. Cross ice. Just past the Rogers stick. Gill up the far side. He gets pinched off the boards. 18 seconds left. Rogers now walking, trying to walk to the middle, trying to get that puck one more time in the slot. Up the near side. Shot. Elliott was saved. Steers that to the corner. Schletty. Chip that out. Shot on net that Elliott grabs with the glove and the horn sounds. Shots are 10-9 in favor of your Mustangs. Teams will regroup here. So a hot, fast start by your Mustangs, going up too early, and then Rogers finally put their foot on the gas, pumped in four more goals. Mustangs not paying attention on defense, letting them get past you. I think there were 3 breakaways and one slot pass turned into a goal. So the Mustangs can correct that, put some pucks on net. Coach Barron over there giving some words of encouragement to Elliott. Off here at center ice. Kohler Peterson in for this draw. Mustangs win that to the near side. Cawthorn throws that into the Rogers zone. Rogers up the far wall. Caleb Wiedrich able to take that away. Rogers now regrouping behind their net. Joe Getchell on the far side. Up the middle. Kohler Peterson intercept. Shot. Blocker save. Cawthorn's able to hold that in, but Rogers grabs it at the high slot and they chip it out. Rogers now coming down. They got a burst of speed here. They get that puck to the point. Shot blocked by Caleb Wiedrich. Cawthorn. Rogers working at that point, that shot out. Elliott's able to get a glove on that shot from the Rogers defenseman, and we get a whistle. Near side corner to the left of Elliott. Mustangs win that. They go out the far side. Young coming down. Bradley driving the net. Shot, rebound. Bradley can't get a stick on it. Young picks that puck up out of the pile. He tries to spin and shoot that, misses. Peterson gets it across the red, dumps it all the way down in the Rogers end. Rogers out of the zone. That's off a stick, so no icing. Elliott back to set it up for McGill. That's Masters, sorry. Loose puck in the slot, backhand. Again, another situation where Wing's not paying attention and they just cut through the slot. Rogers regrouping here. Rogers coming down now and Wiesner 2-on-1 coming through. Shot. Save Elliott. And Wiesner throws that all the way down. That will be on net, so no icing. Rogers back to get it as your Mustangs change. McGill coming down now. To the point. Hangy. McGill throws that in the far corner. Getchell is there. Now behind the net, Schletty. Joe Getchell able to... Oh, you're kidding me. Are they calling a rough on Joe? Oh my God. Oh boy. Boy, that's a stretch. Holy smokes. So your Mustangs will go on the PK here. 12-26. You've got Schletty and McGill out there on the kill. Hangy and Sage out there as well. Schletty tying up Rogers in the far boards. Now Rogers working that to the middle. Shot, save, Elliott. Rebound, Sage. On the far side, Rogers working that up to the point now. Set it to the power play, shot, goal. I don't know if Elliott didn't see it or if he was screened or... So power play penalty kills over. 5-2. Rogers taking the lead. See if your Mustangs can bounce back. You can bounce back here. On the far side wall, Rogers coming down. On the far side wall, Rogers coming down. Puck to the near side, they drop to the middle, turned over, Bradley coming down now. Puck to the near side, they drop to the middle, turned over, Bradley coming down now. He turns it over, loose puck, Young can't get a shot off. Masters is there. Rogers coming back now to the far side. Rings that around on the near side.
Go, go!
Rogers working it up the wall. Quickly coming back into the zone. And Rochester throws that all the way down. That'll be an icing. Face off to the left of Elliott. Rogers gets to that puck first. And able to turn that over. Peterson now behind the net. He bumps that to Sage. Sage up to Getchell. That's off his stick. Now in the neutral zone. Rogers dumps that deep. Sage spins the retrieve. He rings that around to the near side. Just past Caleb Wiedrich. Sage in the far corner. Peterson. Joe back to Kohler. Kohler up the near side to Caleb. That's off his stick. All the way down. And Rogers flips that all the way out. Sage up the far side wall. That's too far for Anderson. Peterson spins, he fires that down into the Rogers end. Rogers coming to the neutral zone. Gaining speed, drop pass, shot. Elliott with a save. Anderson loses it. Now a turnover in the slot. Rogers fires that to the near side, up to the point. That comes out. Now they have to regroup. Rogers backhands that in, and McGill racing to the puck. Kohler Peterson outweighed by about 100 pounds over there in the corner. Rogers, nice little bump in the corner. Shot, Elliott with a save. Just watch the replay of Joe's roughing penalty. Unbelievable. The guy had the puck and he checked him. Unbelievable. Face off in the Rochester end. Young. Young draws the tripping penalty, and we'll go back on the power play. Rogers are on the near side. Getchell is there. He goes up the boards to Wiesner. Wiesner now on the side of Kohler Peterson. Shot blocked by Rogers. Peterson up to Wiesner. Cross ice. Sage falls. Luckily Rogers can't get that out. Who's puck in the slot? Joe Getchell throws that on net. We have a whistle. Masters in for this draw. Rogers wins that. They spin. Young pulling that off. Tried to hit Masters. Should have just kept walking to the slot. Now exchange up the point. Peterson. Shot. Rebound. Rogers grabs it and they throw that all the way down. That'll be an icing. Loose puck, picked up, back to Hangy. Hangy fires a shot. Bradley falling. Rogers chips it up the glass. Hangy's able to keep that in. He tosses it in, but Rogers grabs it. They go up the wall and out. Now Rogers coming down. Far corner. Mustangs pick that puck up on the near side. Masters all the way across for Young. He can't keep that on a stick. Rogers chips it out. Bradley now coming across the blue. He gets bodied off. Bradley giving his stick to a Rogers player for an autograph, I think. Now Hangy coming across the red. He dumps it down. Wiedrich on the chase behind the net. Turnover in the slot. Wiedrich walking in. He gets it to Peterson. Back to Sage. Over to Wiesner. Wiesner with a shot that's blocked. Sage walks in. Shot wide. And that's deflected up in the netting. .6:44 left in the first period. Mustangs win that draw back. Sage gets it deep. Back to 5-on-5 play. Power play is over. Elliott goes back to get it. Leaves it for Wiesner. Wiesner walking up the middle. Long exit pass, that's off Anderson's stick. Gill walks in, shot saved, sliding to the near corner. Rogers moving it up quickly. Rogers coming down, shot. Elliott's able to get that in his chest protector for another whistle. Trying to get that out. Puck still loose. Now it crosses the blue. Rogers throws it back in. Elliott stops it behind the net. Cawthorn up the near side wall. Rogers backhands that deep into the Mustang corner. Cawthorn can't get it out. Now loose puck in the slot. Spinorama shot and a goal. Mustangs. Sag chips that in. Masters wrap around. Sorry, tried to center it. Rogers was there. Bradley to the far side. Young shot. Goal. Masters with the goal. Pulling your Mustangs within 3 now. We get one back. Good centering pass there. We're going to continue to claw back here in the second period and try to get within reaching distance here of Rogers. Rogers now behind the net. Intercepted by Bradley. He squirts through. Young. Young in the corner with Bradley trying to dig that puck out. Rogers grabs it. They go across ice. Angie is there. He goes off the glass and that hits, goes into the Rogers bench and we have a whistle. Far side boards. Anderson is there. Anderson picks that up out of the pile, comes down, fires a shot that's blocked by Rogers. Rogers to the far side. That's past the Rogers stick and all the way down for an icing. Face-off won by your Mustang. Shot, save. Weidrich driving the net. Face-off in the Rogers zone. Won by Mustangs. Another shot by Cawthorn. Rogers' goaltender is able to grab that. Tall goaltender. Kohler Peterson back into this draw. Another shot by Cawthorn that's broken up by a Rogers player in front of the net. Now they come out quickly. That's off the skate. Polar Peterson coming down the far side. He's got Weidrich driving to the net. Shot and save. Weidrich on the far side. He turns it back into the corner. Rogers now regrouping to the near side. Rogers chips that out. Wiesner back for it. Wiesner behind the net. Dangerous cross-ice pass. That goes off a Rogers skate. Puck gets poked off Weidrich's stick. Peterson chips it out. Now we have an offsides. Face-off will be outside the Rogers zone. Rochester wins that draw. Young goes into the zone with it. He gets bodied off. Bradley behind the net. Bradley circling the slot. Young try to chip. Masters now behind. He goes around to the far side. Hangy pinches. He holds that into the Rogers end. Rogers moved that up quickly to the middle. Loose puck. Bradley picking it up in the high slot, coming down 1-on-2 now. He tries to dance around the big Rogers defenseman. He goes into the corner. Rogers coming out to the near side. Cross-ice pass to a streaking Rogers player. Rogers trying to cut to the middle again. Wrap around. Shot, save, Sikic. Chip out of the zone. Now puck goes deep as your Mustangs get a change. Loose puck in the neutral zone. 2 minutes left here in the period. Trying to get that back into the Rogers end for a last minute rush. Evan Anderson throws that in on net. Steered to the near side corner, up to the point. Cawthorn there, he fires a shot that bounces into the Rogers goaltender's glove. Face off in the Rogers zone with a minute and a half left. Sadge with the puck, he goes cross ice. Caleb Weidrich goes back down the boards. Polar Peterson shot, loose puck. Mustangs looking for it. Joe Getchell now applying pressure on the far side. Turnover. Rogers picks it back up. Now Joe Getchell coming through the neutral zone. He shoves it deep with a minute and a half left. Weidrich on the forecheck. He spins. He gets checked from behind. No call. Oh, we got it. There we go. Cross check is the call. Could have been something a little more serious, maybe. 3 feet from the boards. So your Mustangs go back on the power play. Be a good opportunity to put one into the net before the end of the second period here. Draw within 2. Masters in for this draw. Bradley looking for it with Young now on the far boards. Young back to Peterson. Peterson near side to Hangy. Hangy with a shot that's blocked by Rogers. Rogers just chips that out with a minute left. Peterson near side to Hangy. Hangy up the boards and down. Bradley chasing. Young picks it up off the boards, walks in, shot. Save, now behind the net. 2 Mustangs getting checked by 1 Rogers player. Both players trying to dig that puck up off the boards now. Rogers is able to chip that out. Now there's a race for it. Peterson, 27 seconds left. He goes off the boards and in. Rogers back up off the glass. Mass is able to hold that in. 17 seconds. Out to Peterson. Peterson spins, fires that back down deep with 4 seconds. That's your horn. Teams will go back into the locker room here for a resurface after every 2 periods, I believe. Shots are 24-18 in favor of your Mustangs, with a score being 6-3. So we'll be back here at the start of the third. Thanks for watching. All right, we're back to the start of the third period. Again, your Mustangs have a 43-second power play here to start off the third period. Teams lining up, Peterson, Getchell, Wiedrich, Sage, and Wiesner out here to start the third period. Wiedrich coming down the near side, he backhands that in. Chases it down in the near side corner, he drives to the middle. Joe Getchell on the far corner now, up the boards. That hits a referee's stick. Wiesner able to hold that in, he walks in. Shot, save. Rogers chips that out of play, and so we have a whistle. Should make note, again, Carson Lusk is out with an injury. I don't see him with a sling, so he must be feeling better. No confirmation on exactly what the injury is, but I think it was an AC sprain, a shoulder sprain. Kohler Peterson in for this draw. He tries to go forward with it. Max Wiesner picks it up. Shot. That hits a body in front. Joe Getchell back up the wall. 9 seconds left in the power play. Wiesner, far boards. Peterson. He walks to the middle. Shot. That hits Wiedrich. And Rogers chips it out. First to speed. Rogers coming down now. 2-on-1. Centering pass. Shot. Blocked by Wiesner. Mustangs here on the other side board. Sage up to Getchell. Getchell across the red. He dumps it in. Wiedrich chases. Rogers coming down now on Hangy. That puck floats in on Sikic. Off here to the right of Sikic. It's won by your Mustangs. Now coming out quickly. Bradley getting that to the middle. That's off Masters' stick. Rogers works it in behind the Rochester net. Bradley off the wall. Elliott steers that back to the corner. Masters now chipping it up to Bradley. Rogers is able to hold it in. Side, Rochester trying to get it out, and we do. Oh, that should have been an offside. Oh, I was saying we brought it back in, so no offside. Young on the near side. He tries to dance, gets caught up on his feet. Rogers coming out now to the far side. Chip that to the middle. Cawthorn is there. He gets it out. Rogers regrouping. Here on the near side wall, Young throws it in, and Mustangs go off for a change. Cawthorn picks it up at the red line, dumps it back down. Schletty on the chase. Now moving it to the front of the net. That gets blocked by a Rogers skate. Schletty in the far corner, now behind the net. Trying to move that to McGill. Centering pass, broken up by Rogers, comes out of the zone. Cawthorn now regrouping here with Wiesner. Wiesner stepping up. Loose puck, Rogers picks that up and comes out of the zone. Across the far side, coming down on Joe Getchell. Joe is able to body him off. Sage in the corner. Puck pops to the middle. Anderson. He goes cross ice, hits Getchell. Getchell gains the red line, dumps it down. Rogers now behind their net. Joe with a big check in the far corner. Puck comes around. Peterson's able to hold that in. He throws it down the wall. Weidrich and Getchell down there trying to gain possession. Puck scoots out. Peterson can't hold it in. Rogers coming down now. Joe Getchell on the near side. He goes up the wall. Weidrich trying to chip that in. Rogers goes cross ice. Peterson is there. Rogers gets a change. Go far side. That's off a stick, and Rogers comes back. Shot by Rogers goes just wide. Doesn't get out. Kohler Peterson in the near side corner for it. Loose puck. Elliott's able to get a paddle down on, get a piece of it. Joe Getchell to the far side. Peterson goes up to Weidrich, who wasn't ready for it. Rogers quickly turns it back. Turnover. Rogers now regroups in the neutral zone. They go up the boards. Rogers now on the far side. They spin, come up the boards. Chip that down into the Rochester zone. Elliott behind the net. I don't think he realized there was a Rogers guy coming. Rogers spins. Fire a shot to the slot, cross ice. Rogers goes cross ice to keep that puck in. A lot of slapping at the puck here, and now we finally throw it all the way down. That's on net, so no icing. Schletty walking in. He puts a shot that's blocked by a Rogers player. Centering pass. Schletty trying to one-time that one in. Rogers goaltender was able to steer that to the corner. Puck out of play, so we got a face-off and a whistle down in the Rogers zone. Rogers quickly moving that up the wall. Evan Anderson losing that in the neutral zone. Cawthorn back to get it. He fires it up the wall. Rogers now stepping up. Putting that into the Mustang end. They go up the near side boards to the point. Hangy in the corner. Cawthorn pulls that up. That's off Schletty's stick. Quick shot. Steer to the corner. Wide. Boy, a backdoor pass there, just about. He must have caught somebody, but they looked like they had a wide open foot of the net. Couldn't put it in. Shot. That's off a post. Oh man, that looked like that was in and out. Schletty coming back down the far side. He comes in the middle, fires a shot on net, gets off the ice for a change. Rogers chips that to the middle. Weidrich puts that off a Rogers player and into the zone. Kohler Peterson chasing. He knocks that off. Weidrich behind the net. Centering pass. Joe Getchell can't get a stick on it. Hunter Peterson walking in. Shot. That goes wide. Wiesner fires a shot in the far corner. Weidrich chasing now. That puck goes all the way down. Wiesner back for it. He goes up the boards. Now Weidrich cutting into the zone. That's off a referee's leg. Wiesner steps up, puts that into the far corner. Up the wall. Centering pass. Just past Bradley. Bradley on the near side now. Wiesner on the near side boards. He puts that back into the Rogers zone. Young will get a trip here, tripping call. It's 6:16. So Young into the box, 2 minutes for tripping at 6:16 into the second. 6:16 remaining in the second. Rogers will go back on the power play. Rogers working that across the blue. Shot, that's tipped high and up into the netting. Shot, blocked and steered into the corner. Rogers now back up at the point, trying to get the side of the net. Bradley and Masters out there on the kill. Rogers trying to tuck that into the near side. Hanging down there. He's out there with Sag. Bradley not able to get it out. Now he dives and is able to poke that down as we get a change. Gill and Schletty out there on the kill. Gill now, he backhands that up and out. Schletty will have a break. He can get to the net here. Yeah, tucks it in, Schletty! Schletty with a short-handed goal for your Mustangs. Able to make control with the Rogers player coming in hard. Pulling your Mustangs within 2. 5:17 left. Rochester dumps that in hard on the Rogers goaltender. Rogers now coming out of their end. On the near side. Rogers now reversing to go regroup. Cawthorn trying to go up the boards. Kohler, Peterson, and Joe Getchell out there with Peterson and Cawthorn. Cawthorn picks that up off the wall. 15 seconds left in the kill. Rogers spins, fires it up and off a Rochester player and into the netting. 4:25 left here in the third. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Maybe off this face-off we can spring a breakaway. Pull back within 1. Pops up into the net. Face off that comes out of the zone. That should kill the penalty. Rogers dumps that down. Elliott stops it for Wiesner. Wiesner up off the glass and out. That goes all the way down. We'll have an icing. Buckle on the far side boards. Max Wiesner spins. Bradley trying to get it out. He does. Masters coming down now. He drives to the Rogers end. Drops it for Young. Comes out to the point. Sag walking in. Shot. Rebound. Looking for it. Now we've got a tripping call on Rogers. So your Mustangs go back on the power play with 3:33 left. Weidrich, Peterson, Sage is out there. Sage is able to hold it in. Weidrich in the corner. Sage holding it in, back down to Peterson. Sage stepping up, poking that to the middle. He grabs it. Goes far side, trying to hit Peterson, but Rogers stepped in. Now Rogers coming in on a break. 5-hole short-handed goal. That'll be the heartbreaker right there. Short-handed goal, battling to keep that puck in, and they go in on a breakaway. Got an interference call on your Mustangs, I believe. So Griff Young getting a penalty at 2:56.